Okay, we'll go for the fourth module, that is cloud AWS cloud security. What is in by security? What is in by security? Security means what? Security means protecting, correct now? Protecting, let us say. So what security we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss about the cloud security. We are going to discuss about the AWS cloud security. How to secure your data or cloud account, whatever it is. Now in this module, we'll discuss about shared responsibility model, IAM, new how to secure a new account, how to secure data and insurance compliance. So at the end of this module, we'll come to know about shared responsibility model, users, groups and roles. First, we'll go for the first topic, that is shared responsibility model. What is meant by shared? Shared means what? And share the responsibility. What is meant by sharing the responsibility? Okay, what? Who are all going to share the responsibility? That means there are some roles which has to be shared and the responsibilities has to be taken care. So, what are those? Who are those people who's going to share their responsibility? Can you just mention in the chat box if you have a guess? Yes. Who are all going to share their responsibility in the AWS here now? Specifically in the security of your cloud. Who are all going to take care? Who are going to take part in this responsibility? Let us say you buy a product. Okay. You buy a product from the shop. Okay. Let us say you buy a laptop itself. Okay. Now, who are all responsible for the product actually? That computer, let us say, which you are buying from the shop. It has to work properly. Who is responsible for that? Before you buy also, after you buy also, it has to work properly. Who is responsible for that? Who is responsible for that? Come on, guys, are you able to hear me? Yes. Can you unmute and talk or put it in the chat box? Who is responsible for that? You are buying a computer. Once you buy the computer, it has to work. If it is not working, who is responsible? You buy a new computer. Yes. The shop is responsible. The shop means what? Who is that? Who is giving it to you? The seller, right? The seller or not? So whose responsibility is that? The seller. Yes. Okay. Now, after you buy the computer, you have to protect your data, correct? You have to put a security pin or a password or something. If you're not putting that, someone will steal your laptop and take all the data, or they will steal that laptop itself. Now, whose responsibility to put security for that? Is the seller's responsibility or your responsibility as a customer? Whose responsibility is that to put a password or a security for that? Setting a password or pin for that. You're buying a new mobile, right? You're buying new mobile. Until you buy the mobile, whose responsibility is that? Keeping the mobile safe and new. It's a seller, correct? So after you buy the mobile, whose responsibility? Yes, buyer. We also called as what? As a seller, correct? Now same thing here. We are going to purchase the cloud account. Now there are two persons who will involve in this responsibility. One is the customer and another one is AWS. What is this customer responsibility? Customer will be responsible for security in the cloud. What? Security in the cloud. In the cloud means like your mobile phones. You buy the mobile, you put the security pin, password, pattern, everything for that. That is your responsibility. But AWS, here the AWS, that's the seller. The seller or the buyer or customer. Now the AWS responsibility is what? Mainly regions, availability zones, and edge locations, which we learned in the previous section. They will take care of these infrastructure. Because of these infrastructure, your compute service, storage service, database service, and network services are working, and you are able to create the software, and the software will work properly. Now, this is main responsibility of the AWS, whereas it is called security of the cloud. Security of the cloud. Now, security of the cloud is AWS, and security in the cloud is customer. Okay, you can divide your notebook into two parts. One is customer, and another one is AWS. Now, customer responsibility. Let us see what are the customer responsibilities. So here you can able to see customer is mainly to protect your data. You are creating data, you have to protect it. That is your responsibility. Next one, like your computer, you are buying a computer, you want to put protection for your data. That is whose responsibility? Customer. Same thing, writing a platform, selecting a platform, application, and identity and access management. That is what platforms I have to install, VS Code or something, whatever tools and applications you want to install, whom I can give access. That is called identity and access management, whom I can give access. For example, you are buying a new computer to in your home. You have your brother or sister, you are two people in your home, and your father has said, like, only come one computer will buy and give you. What you will do? How will you use it? How will you use it? How will you use it? Both of you. Can you just mention in the chat box or unmute and talk? How will you use both of you? Will you create a login account? Will you create a login account, separate login account for your brother or sister in that computer? Users. I am talking about users. Will you create a new user for your brother or sister in the computer so that he or she can log in and use her own settings and everything? Yes or no? Can you guys just mention yes or no in the chat box? Anjali, Uma, Anthony, Gopinath. Okay. So same thing here, identity and access management. Next, operating system. So you buy a new computer, you can decide on which OS I want to put, whether Linux or operating system, which I want to install. Next, networking and firewall settings. Also, we can put what kind of network I have to connect. Next, client server data, client side data encryption. When you are sending one file or you want to have a client and client side data encryption, you can able to do it. Another one, server side encryption also we can able to set, and network traffic, that is network traffic control protection also we can put. So all these things we can able to do it in our normal computer. Same thing only what AWS is giving you. AWS is allowing you to take permission in sense it's giving you the freedom to set all these things, that is customer data, platform, application, and identity and access management, operating system, network, and firewall configurations. So client side data encryption, server side encryption, network traffic protection. So all these things you will be able to do it by yourself. So you split, put AWS on the left side and customer on the right side. Just write this. I think you got the materials of the third module actually. No? Okay, I will send you today then. Fine. Now you can just take a screenshot, or anyway I'm going to send you this. You can just take a screenshot, or if you're writing, how many of them are writing? Okay, if you have written, just put a thumbs up symbol. Just put a thumbs up symbol once you are written. Done? Huh? You can put a thumbs up symbol. Once you're done, then we'll move to the next one. Still, we have, if you have written in a notebook, just write it, split into two halves. Still, we have more points. We have to write it. Anthony done. Anjali. Okay. Kiran done. Okay. Now you see, what is the first one? AWS responsibility. So AWS responsibility we already mentioned. It will take care of the global infrastructure, edge location, availability zone regions, and AWS services like compute, storage, database, networking. Now this will be responsible for the physical security of the data center. As we saw in the previous video, na, I showed you. In the video, you are able to see that there are some physical security guys are there for the entire data centers. So they will have a control need based access. Control need based access means what? Only those who have that authority can able to access it. Next, hardware and software infrastructure. So we can have the storage decommissioning, host operating system, access logging and auditing. Storage decommissioning means what? Decommissioning means removing. Decommissioning means removing. Host operating system. Host operating system means the host is you. I mean the host is AWS. AWS which is having the physical server. AWS is having the physical server, they are the host. Okay. And access login, they also have the access. It's not like everyone can able to access. They will be having an auditing team and everything. So whatever they are using, that is a physical server, and their operating system is called host operating system. And whatever view, that is whatever you as a customer use, is called guest operating system. Guest operating system. Okay, so host operating system is always AWS server. Host guest operating system is ours, which we are taking. We are joining as a guest and we go out. Correct. So we are ours is guest operating system. Next one, network infrastructure. That is throughout this network. That is the each regions, availability zones, edge location. All these network. There is some issue. Will we be able to take care of that? Those issues in the regions, availability zone. Can we able to take care of that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Can we able to do anything in the regions, availability zones? No, correct? It's not in our control. So that is no. So the intrusion detection in the network infrastructure will be taken care by AWS only. Next, virtual infrastructure, that is all the instance that is in the cloud. There is instance, one server, another server, another server, another server. So they have thousands of servers. In that, all these servers are separated. All these servers are separated. That is isolated. That is who will take care of that? That AWS only will take care. Correct? We cannot do anything. So all these things, that is physical security of the data center, storage decommissioning and lagging auditing, network intrusion, and virtualization infrastructure, instance isolation. All these are coming under AWS responsibility. That is security of the cloud. So just write in the AWS file. In the right side, you have created AWS account, right? AWS and customer you have splitted. In that, you enter this in the AWS space. Once you're done, just put a thumbs up symbol. Only these 3 points: intrusion detection, instance isolation, 4 points: physical security of the data centers, and storage decommissioning host operating system. Once you're done, just put a thumbs up symbol. Done. Okay, you're done. Just put a thumbs up symbol. We'll move to the next one. Yes, come on, guys. Okay, Dinesh done. Okay. Okay, fine. Kiran and others also done. Fine. Now, customer responsibility. What is the customer responsibility? So here you can able to see, as EC2 is an operating system, EC2 is a server. I told you the server instance operating system. So here it is, whose operating system it is, as we are taking as a guest. So ours is a guest operating system. So whatever we are launching in the EC2 instance, the OS, it is called guest operating system. We are guest, and the AWS whatever they have, the physical server is called host, as I told you. Now, including patches, who will done? Customer only have to do. Patches means nothing but update. Patches means nothing but update and maintenance. Maintenance also done by us. Next, who will set the password for our applications and role-based access? Who can access up to what level? That also given by us, the customer. Next, security group configuration. Who can access what the firewall they have to cross? All those settings in the security group will be done by customer. Next, host OS or host based firewalls, we can able to create it, including intrusion detection or preventing systems. Preventing system means other systems to connect. Before that, they have to get a check process. The firewall has to cross. That firewall system has to be configured by customer. Next, network configuration. What kind of network you have to access, who should be allowed and not allowed, all things you can decide as a customer. Next, account management, login and permission settings for each users. So in your account, like we discussed about in the organization, CEO have admin, HR and everything. So all these people who can give access permission. Access permission can be given by the customer because it's customer account. Okay. So login permission, network configuration, password setting, security group, and patching and maintenance OS. So all these are added in the customer, and customer is nothing but security in the cloud, and AWS is security of the cloud. So write this first word: security in the cloud and security of the cloud in the AWS. Once you are done, just give a thumbs up. You're done, just put a thumbs up symbol. You write and keep it, otherwise you'll not remember. You're done. Yes, Kiran, Anthony, Gopinath, and others. Okay, done. Kiran done. Others done. Uma, Kirti, Sri Lakshmi, everyone done. Okay. Now you guys have to answer who is responsible for what. Okay. Before that, let me delete all these things. Okay. First one, upgrade and patches to the operating system on the EC2. On the EC2, who will upgrade and matches? Customer or AWS? You guys tell me the answer for the first one. First one, what is the answer? Customer or AWS? Who is responsible? If you have written everything in the notebook, you can easily understand. Tell me who is responsible for upgrading. Upgrading means what? Patches to the operating system on the EC2. EC2 is the one which you are taking. And who has to upgrade and patch, do the patchwork, maintenance, and everything? Whose responsibility is? Whose responsibility is this? Okay, Kiran said customer. What about others? Others, you are there. You have written everything. Guys, understand you paid the fees and you join the course. You make a note of things, otherwise, you will not understand anything later also. When you write something, it will go to your brain. If you're not writing anything, simply watching like a movie, you will not remember anything. And I'm asking you the same question only, whatever I have taught you in the previous slides. Okay, as Kiran said, let me mark this as customer. Let us see later. Next, physical security of the data center. Who will responsible of the physical security of the data center? Number two, whose responsibility is this? AWS or customer? AWS or customer? Okay, Kiran said AWS. Others? Only Kiran is there in the class. Others, what happened? Sakshi, Uma, Annie, Gopinath, Anthony, mm, Kirtana, Srisha, Zian, Zidan. Okay. Okay, let us keep this AWS. Next, virtualization infrastructure. Whose responsibility is that? Third one, virtualization infrastructure. Customer. Okay, Kiran said customer and Anthony said, I mean, Kiran, Anthony said customer and Kiran said AWS. If you have written in your notebook, you might have understood. Let me take this both as there are mixed answers. But about others? Okay, next fourth one, we'll go for fourth one. EC2 security group settings. Who is responsible for that? EC2 security group settings. Security group settings. Who is responsible for that? Customer or AWS? Just now I explained you on the previous slides. If you had written, you could have answered this. Yes, who's responsible for EC2 security group setting? Customer or AWS? Okay, Kiran said customer. What about others? Any other comments? Any other options? Anybody is answering? Ready to answer? Okay. Next, fifth one. Configuration of applications that run on the EC2. That run on the EC2. What are the applications should be run on top of this EC2? Who is responsible for that? AWS or customer? See, server is the one, EC2 is the one which you are taking for your purpose. On top of that server, like a computer. Server is nothing but like a computer. You are taking a computer, and in that computer, what application should run? All these things will be decided by whom? Customer or AWS? Okay, customer, Kiran has said. Next, Oracle updates or patches. If the Oracle instance runs as an Amazon RDS instance, Amazon RDS instance, that is, RDS is relational database. Relational database run on Oracle instance. That is by default running on the Oracle instance on the RDS instance, not EC2 instance. Now, whose responsibility is that? AWS or customer? AWS or customer? Whose responsibility is that? Whose responsibility is that? Okay, Kiran said AWS. Next one, Oracle updates or patches if the Oracle runs on EC2. Now the application is running on EC2. Whose responsibility is that? Customer. Okay. S3 bucket access, that is storage bucket configuration access. Who has to do that? Initially, you are taking the storage. Who has to give the access for the eighth one? AWS. AWS and customer will put. Okay, let us see the answers. First one is customer, second one is AWS, third one is AWS or customer, fourth is customer, fifth is customer, sixth is AWS, seventh is customer, eighth is AWS and customer. So let us see the answer. First one, customer. Yes, correct. Second one, AWS. Correct. Third one, virtualization is AWS. Again, it's AWS. Next, security groups. Customer. Configuration of applications that run on the EC2 instance. That is again customer. Oracle updates or patches if the Oracle runs as Amazon RDS instance. That is AWS. Oracle run updates patches on EC2 instance. That is also customer. And S3 bucket configuration is customer. So maximum 80% is correct. Alright. Okay. Next, the same thing only. Now again you have to identify whether who is responsible for what. So first one, ensuring that the AWS management console is not hacked. That is AWS login itself not hacked. That is whose responsibility? First one, who's responsible for that? The AWS account is not hacked. Or the page is not hacked. Whose responsibility is that? Customer or AWS? AWS. Okay, Kiran said AWS. Okay. Next, configuring subnets. That is inside your network, you are going to create some subnets. That is inside your network. After you get the network, inside the network, how to split the networks. That is whose responsibility. Second one. Okay, customer you said message. Okay. Next, configuring VPC. VPC is the virtual private cloud. Who is going to take the cloud architecture, cloud space, whether customer or AWS? Who wants cloud space? Customer or AWS? Who's going to purchase the space from cloud? Okay, customer. Next, protection against network outage in the AWS region. In the AWS region, there is no network issue. Should not happen. Whose responsibility is that? Fourth one. Okay, AWS. Okay. Next, securing SSH key. SSH key is like your username and password of your server. Whose responsibility is that? Securing, keeping it in a safer place. Keeping your username password. Okay, Anthony said customer. Next, ensuring network isolation between the AWS customers' data. That is, this is one server, this is one server. There is no disturbance between this server and this server. Whose responsibility is that? AWS or customer? Fifth, sixth one. Whose responsibility? Okay, AWS. Next, ensuring low latency network connections between the web server and the S3 bucket. So the connection between your web server and the S3 bucket connectivity issues. Who's responsible for that? AWS or customer? Seventh one. Whose responsibility is that? Making sure that the connectivity is working fine. Yes, Kiran, Anthony, who is responsible for that connectivity between your web server and the S3 bucket? Customer. How customer, what you can do? Let us say Airtel connection is slow. What you can do as a customer? Okay, you're saying customer. Let me keep this as customer. Next, eighth one. Putting multi-factor authentication, enforcing multi-factor authentication for the login. So for to secure your account, you are giving a two-factor authentication. So who will set that? AWS will set, or you have to set? The customer has to set. The eighth one. Who's responsible for that? Customer. Okay. Fine. We'll see the answers now. First one, console, management console. Yes, AWS, correct. Second one, customer, subnet, correct. Next, third one, VPC. VPC is customer again, but you guys said AWS also. Okay, no, customer only you said. Next, fourth one, protection against network outage. It is AWS, correct. Next is securing the SSH key, customer, correct. Network isolation between customers data, that is AWS, ensuring low latency network connection between the web server and the S3 bucket. Again, you said customer, that is around wrong. Multi-factor authentication to the all the users, that is customer. So out of this eight, one is wrong. Fine. I hope now you are all clear on this. Now anyone can read this. Anthony, can you read it?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
AWS and the customer shares security responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
AWS is responsible for security of the cloud.
Hmm.
Customer is security responsible for security in the cloud. AWS is responsible for protecting infrastructure, including hardware, software, networking, and facilities that runs AWS cloud service.
Hmm.
For service that categorized as infrastructure as a service, the customer is responsible for performing necessary security configuration and management tasks.
Okay.
I should read that, sir.
Hmm.
Just OS updates and security patches, firewall security group configuration.
Fine, fine. Nothing done. Now we'll go for the next chapter, that is AWS IAM. IAM is nothing but identity and access management. That is like in your office, you want to go inside your office. Normally, you might have seen in movies also how a person will go inside an office. Is there anything you have to get signed or show? Anything is there? They just normally they will go inside the office. You might have seen in movies, no? They directly go inside their office. The door is always open. Yes. Come on, guys, just tell me. I think in your school or college gate also, will they allow you simply inside? You need anything to go inside your office or school or college? How will you go, guys? Yes, Anthony. No, sir. What? No, sir. What are you saying? Yes, ID card. Yes. What is this ID card? What is this ID card is doing actually? Okay, what is the full form of ID? You tell me. ID means what? ID means what?
Identification, sir.
Exactly. ID represents identity. Correct, na? You're from school days, you're learning this. Identity card. You might have learnt in your school, LKG, UKG, somewhere you might have learnt identity card. Correct? Give me a photo for your identity card. They have asked you why you need this identity card. In the gatekeeper, that is your security guard in your school, he will ask you, show me your ID card, and then only I will allow you inside. Correct now? Same thing only. First identify whether he is the right person, then give him access. Then give him access. Management. Management means multiple access for one person or multiple people, multiple access. All are coming under this. That is called identity and access management. This module. Now, in this, nothing but IAM is nothing but to access AWS resources. Logging into AWS account, what you are going to access? You're going to access the AWS resources. Resources means nothing but services. Resources is nothing but services. That is your 280 plus services are there inside AWS. I told you. You want to take the access to those services. For that, we need first identity. So a resource is nothing but an entity in your AWS account that you are going to work with. Example, your resources like Amazon EC2 instance or S3 bucket. Amazon EC2 instance or S3 bucket. EC2 instance or S3 bucket. So EC2 instance is nothing but your server. S3 bucket is your storage. Like this, whatever services we have inside AWS, I want to access it means I need this IAM permission. That is called who can control, who can terminate the AWS instance, who have the rights. We can able to define the rights. We can able to define the rights. Like your, I told you, the laptop you can able to share with your sibling or with your brother and sisters, right? So how will you share? You will take, if you are the elder person, you will take the administrator access and you give access to the member account access to your sister or brother. Correct? That's what we will do, right? So now this IAM only will decide who can access the resource, which resources can be accessed, and up to what can the user can do with the resource, how resources can be accessed, how resources can be accessed. So now all these things will be given by the IAM, and that too it's a no cost feature. That means you might have written in the first chapter, in second module which we might have written for the free account. Correct now? So first write this IAM is mainly used to manage AWS resources. It will define rights like who can access, which resource can be accessed, and what can we do with the resource, how resource can be accessed. Okay, write all these four things, 4 points in your notebook for IAM. Once you're done, just put a thumbs up symbol. Okay, Dinesh, on this. Dinesh is done. Dinesh is done. Okay, Ajit, Kiran, everyone done. Okay, fine. Now, in this IAM, we have four options. One is we need to know four things. One is what are the main essential components of IAM. First is IAM user, IAM group, IAM policy, and IAM role. This is nothing but which we already learned in the organization CEO. Now CEO is a person. CEO is a person. That is nothing but he is a user. He is a user. This can be a user. That is, it can be a person, or this IAM user can be an application or a service also, or a service also, like EC2 is a service. For service also we can assign this IAM role. It is like your normal member account. It's normal member account or member permission that you are giving. Like on the day I draw this CEO admin organization, there we have mentioned executive. Now this executive is an IAM user. Executive is an IAM user. Okay, this is a normal application, normal uh, policy we are applying actually. That means we can able to assign this IAM user to a person or an application or a service also. Okay, write that one simple in a simple format. That's a general user, IAM user. Next one is your IAM group. Group is nothing but like on that day I told you HR. HR is a group. HR is a group. Under HR we have TL. Under TL we have executives and member accounts, right? So group, I want to apply some policy to this particular group, HR group. Then I have to create a policy document and attach that policy to that HR group. Attach that policy to the HR group. Now what will happen? Whoever is coming under that HR group, it will be applied with this policy. They will be applied with that policy. For example, in the policy we have mentioned S3 HR Allow is the policy here written in the HR group. Now, whoever coming under HR group, the TL and the member account, all these people will come under this group. Okay. Next, that is nothing but a collection of IAM user. That is below this group only we have TL member everybody, right? So that's what it's called, a collection of IAM users that are granted identical authorization. Identical means what? See, students are not allowed to use this lab means yes, the students are not allowed. Not like one student alone it will be able to access it. No, the rule is a rule, right? So the rule is applied for all the students means that it's. I mean, the rule is applied for a student means whatever the rule that they have mentioned for the students, everything is applicable for all the students. It's not like one person it is applied, one person not applied. Correct? No? Same thing is IAM group. Next one, to create this permission access, we need to create a policy document. That policy document, as I told you, it will be in the JSON format. What this document will design? The document will first define which source can be accessed, which source can be accessed, and up to what level of access to each resource, up to what level of access to each resource we can able to give. That also we can able to design there, not only we can able to mention in the IAM policy. But as we already mentioned, IAM policies will be always have only two main things. One is allow, another one is deny. Either allow rules or deny rules. Next, the last one, that is IAM rule. The last one is IAM rule. So this role is nothing but like a cricket captain. Is it look like a cap? Is it look like a cap? Okay, as I told you, it's like a captain, like a captain. Let me say, now who is the cricket captain today for India? Who is the cricket captain for India now?
Shubman Gill, sir.
Huh?
Shubman Gill, sir.
Subman Gilla. Okay.
Yes.
If okay, yeah, previously who was there?
Rohit Sharma, sir.
Okay. Now Rohit Sharma is setting the field now. Rohit Sharma is not a captain. If Rohit Sharma says something, will the fielders will agree? Will they do?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because he
Because
is a
that's the
senior.
senior. You leave it,
Senior.
sir. He is not the captain today.
Then
He is not the
they won't
captain.
listen.
Hmm?
Sir, they won't listen.
They won't listen, right? Now, if they are not listening, that means he lost his captainship. He is lost his captainship. Correct, na? He lost his captainship. Now, after this losing his captainship, no one will respond to them. Correct, na? So this captain, cricket captain, is like a temporary permission, like a temporary permission. But tomorrow, who will become the captain? Tomorrow, who will become the captain? Tomorrow, someone will become the captain, right? Then today, somebody is captain, right? So they will not listen to this person also. Tomorrow, they will not listen to this person also. Am I right? So it's like a temporary permission. On that day, I showed you the auditor thing. Do you remember for the AWS organization auditor thing? Correct now? Do you remember or not? Come on, guys, just mention auditor. I told you auditor is like he will come to all the companies. So he wants to access the folders, but will you give the full permission for him. That means read and write options also you will give it, or only read access you will give it. What access you will give it? What access you will give it, guys? You'll give full access or temporary access you'll give. Auditor is a person who is coming to the company only for once in a day, 1 or 2 days in a company. He will come audit all the files and folders. Correct, na? Do you remember this slide? Yes. So here is the IAM role. You're able to see that. You see the auditor policy. We are given S3 bucket, that is the storage bucket, HR folder, develop one folder, sales folder, everything. Sales only allow that to read only. That means, and that to 48 hours. That to 48 hours. So it's like a temporary cricket captain. Today is a captain who is able to access or everyone are obeying. Tomorrow is not the captain, no one will obey. Same thing. Today you have the policy, you can able to access these files. That to read only after 2 days, that is 48 hours. Let us take Monday 9 o'clock, you give access, and Tuesday, Wednesday 9 o'clock, the access will get removed automatically. But the role which we created, IAM role which we created, it will be there in your account only. Whenever somebody wants to give access, you can put that cap, like same thing like temporary captains are there, na? If one match the captain is not well, what they will do? They will put a vice captain can become the captain, yes or no? Same thing, he will become the captain. Na? Same thing here, this auditor role which we have created. Anyone wants, sometimes somebody else is again coming from third party compliance and all, they are coming and going to check your account. You can give this access, this role you can assign to them, and they will be able to do it, and they will be able to access it. Okay, so that's called this IAM role. Now coming back, it's a temporary permission, temporary set of permissions for making AWS service request. So write all these four letters: IAM, IAM group, IAM policy, and IAM role in your own words, or you can able to write it in a short form. What is this? Okay, these are the main things in the security. In the security model, these are the main things. Just to prepare that. Just write this one. Right, once you are done, we just put a thumbs up symbol. Okay, Anthony, done. You're done means just put a thumbs up symbol. Done. Just put a thumbs up symbol. We'll move to the next one. Okay. Now, how can we give access? So, how can we give access to the accounts? So, there are two ways, two methods. One is programmatic access. Another one is AWS management console access. That is, your 12-digit account number you can give, and your user access and password you can give and login. Or programmatic means your command line interface. Your command line interface, you can put a command where you give the access ID and access key, and you can able to access your account. So these are the two things. Okay. So here if you type AWS console. login, AWS console login. First it will go to your member account. So sign in. You're able to see IAM user sign in. So account ID or allies. So you're able to see this account ID or allies. That is your member account you have to mention, and the username password which you are giving, that you have to give it. If you are not having your, if yours is not a member account, see here I just showed you now. You will have 12 digit account ID. You will have a 12 digit account ID that you have to give it. Okay. Then your username password. Same thing only here it is showing. You see 12 digit account ID, then username and password. If you are going for a root account user, you can just click sign in using root account user. Now it will ask you only email ID and password. It will ask only, you have to mention your root account and email ID and next password and the MFA you can set. Okay. Now command line interface, as I told you, only access ID, that is a alphanumeric word code that you have to give. Again, access secret access key, again you have to give alphanumeric code. Next, enable multi-factor authentication, conference for authentication. So enable multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication means what? Two-step verification. So two-step verification you can able to give it by setting your account. Let me see, show you. You can able to see this is a root account user, and in this root account user, I'm just typing my email ID and I'm writing my password. And now I have set MFA, that is multi-factor authentication. How I have connected? I have connected with the app called Google Authenticator. What? Google Authenticator. This Google Authenticator app we install and click scan on this code. Maybe inside the login you'll be able to score. And once you click sign in, it will ask you the MFA code, which you have to enter this. Is it visible? Okay. The 6 digit code you have to enter 209. That one within a few seconds it will go. So 209807. So once before it gets finished, you have to log in. Once you log in, once you give the correct code, it will allow you to log inside your account. So now I came inside my account. Are you getting? So how to create this MFA? As we are talking under IAM, correct? Na? IAM only we are talking about. So where this MFA setting will be there? The MFA setting will be there in the IAM. So IAM, if you type, you see IAM. You see the IAM dashboard. Security recommendations. We are in the security module, right? So what are the recommendations AWS itself is giving? You see, root account user has MFA. I have already set the MFA. So it is showing you have already set the MFA. Now see, deactivate or delete access key for the root account user. Just now I showed you programmatic access. So which I have created it, but I might not have deleted it. So it is showing that either delete your access key so that other persons will not come and access it. Okay, so this is my account ID. Let me see, I have given two MFA, and you see I have created an access key, that is access key. and access ID. So already it is there, so I am deleting this. Okay. So actions, delete. Okay. First deactivate. Now you just to copy paste the code and it will confirm to delete. So you see access key is deleted. How to create? Just click create access key. Alternate to the root account user. To access your root account user, click access key. So to see it gets created access key and access ID. That is your username and password, which I told you it will be a alphanumeric code. Okay. So this is done. So this access key and access ID we'll be using it for connecting from our local desktop or local CI command line interface. Now, as of now, I'll just delete this also. That is first deactivate, then delete it. Are you getting this? Yes. So you got this. Let's just put a thumbs up symbol here. You understood? Okay. Next one, MFA I just now showed you how to create. You log into your account, you type username, password, and how can we give access? How can we give access? So what actions are permitted? So you can able to give the actions that are permitted mainly. In your policy, you can set like read only access or full access. For example, I can able to, as we already learned in the organization, one user can have multiple policies attached. Multiple policies attached. So same thing here, see, all the IAM users, group and role are having access, full access to EC2. That is your server, and they have only read only permission to S3 bucket, which is storage. That means they cannot able to access fully. They can only read the data. They can only read the data. They cannot delete any data. So what actions are permitted, that will be mentioned only in the policy document. Next, IAM authorization. How will you authorize your permissions? Mainly by the document. So mainly you cannot give. So in the policy document, we'll be mentioning what are the permissions created by the IAM policy, what permissions determine which resources or operations are allowed. Here in the policy only, we are going to mention which resources or operations are allowed. That we are going to mention through this IAM permission. Now, all permissions are implicitly denied by default. All permissions are implicitly denied. Implicitly denied means what? By default, it is denied. Default means, let us say you open a bank account. You open a bank account. What are the things they will ask you? Or you open a bank account, and lastly, they will give you one more form. What is that form? What is that form they will give you at last once you open a bank account? After you open a bank account, can you just tell me that? You guys have a bank account first of all? Yes? Can you just say yes or no in the chat box? Come on, guys, you are able to hear me. Do you have a bank account or not? Say that, at least I will move ahead. Do you have a bank account? Yes, no, no. Okay. Others, Anthony and Kiran are not responding. What about others? Sakshi, Dinesh, Uma, Gopinath, Ashwini, Anjali, Sirisha, Are you guys here? Okay, you guys have bank account. Okay, what is the last form they will give you after opening your account? Okay, they will give you a form which will have only check boxes. You might have seen that. What is that? What options they will give you in the checkbox? What option they might have given you in the checkbox? Okay, better we'll go for the this one. So you'll be having a like credit card or debit card or checkbook, passbook. What are all the things? Internet banking, network banking, all these things they will ask. You just have to tick. If you're not ticking, what they will consider as? They will consider as default deny. Default deny. That is default. It is not allowed until and unless you tick. Same thing only here in the policy document. All permissions are denied by default. By default, it will be in the deny state. You only have to give permission whether to allow or not. That is, your job is only to allow. That is tick mark. Now, what AWS is suggesting, always follow the principle of least privilege. That is, you should not give all the permissions to everyone. Please give permissions one by one when they needed. When they needed. So write this line in your notebook and keep it. Follow the principle of least privilege, and this one. All permissions are denied by default. Next, there is a scope of IAM service configuration is global. Setting apply for all across the region. So all across the region, we can able to set the permission by using the IAM policy. This is one of the policy method. That is IAM policy mainly for IAM users. IAM users, we are doing this policy. Okay, write these three lines and just put a thumbs up symbol. Just put a thumbs up symbol. Once you're done, just put a thumbs up symbol of writing all these three. These two lines is enough. I don't want the last one. This you don't want, only these two lines. Once you're done, just put a thumbs up symbol. Okay, done. Next, IAM policies, there are two types. One is identity-based policy, that is identify and give access to IAM. Another one is resource-based policy. Another one is resource-based policy. Resource-based policy is nothing but the policy where attached to the resource, as we already mentioned in the previous diagram. First, we will do this one, IAM policy. So IAM means identity based policy. Identify who is that, whether it is a IAM user or a group or a role. Identify them, give the policy. In the policy document, what we are going to write? We are going to write what are the actions that they can perform as an on the entity, what may not perform, whether a single policy can be attached to multiple entities. That is this one, single policy attached to multiple entities, and single entity can have multiple policies. Multiple policies can be attached to a single person. That is also possible. Okay, that's called identity based policy. And resource based policy is the policy which is attached to the resource. Resource is nothing but like S3 bucket, EC2, all these things that we can attach to a resource. So here in this diagram you can able to see All these four are IAM policies, and this is IAM role policy. Same thing only, IAM policy only. We are applying for the role, but here this is resource based policy, because this policy is attached to a resource, that is S3 bucket is a resource. We are attaching this policy to the resource. Okay, and these are IAM policies, which is attached to a group, which is attached to a user. Okay, are you getting? Just put a thumbs up symbol, then you will understand this. You understand this. This is a main concept in this security. IAM policy and resource based policy. Resource based policy means the policy which is attaching to the resource. IAM policy is attaching to the user. Fine. You return these two, IAM policy, identity based policy, and resource based policy. There are one more policies there that we already mentioned in the security control policy. Okay, first you write this two, only in the name alone you write identity based policy and resource based policy. You're done. If you're done, just put a thumbs up symbol. Puja, Kirtana, Kirti. Okay. Now here you can able to see the policy document, how this policy will be. So here you see first one, the version, as I told you, this is in the JSON format. The policies are, this effect is the first one. Effect will say whether it is allow or deny. As I already told you, there are only two options. One is allow, another one is deny. Allow and deny. Only these two are aligned. Now here you see what is the policy says. Action DynamoDB star, but DynamoDB region account with hyphen. Only this table you should be allow. Only this table will be allow. Next S3 bucket also. S3 bucket, only this bucket name. Inside this bucket you can access anything. That is allowed. Now effect deny, what is deny? DynamoDB star. Star represents what? Universal. Universal means what? Everything. Okay, so star represents universal. So DynamoDB everything except, that's what except is, not resource. Only this table name you don't touch it. I mean only this table name you can able to access. Other things you should be denied. Same thing, only this bucket name which we created, that alone you can access. The remaining things you cannot access. Like your S3 bucket is having HR document. Only the HR can able to access HR document, not the sales document, developer document, testing and other things. Okay. And main thing is first it will go and check an explicitly deny statement. So whether everything is in the deny state or allow state. As I told you, the document will be scanned. First it will go and check for the deny statement. Okay. If an explicit deny statement take the precedence over the allow statements. As I told you on that day itself, I asked you this question, I think so. For example, I'll ask you again. So here the ops, here the DevOps, you can able to see developer is saying allow, and the ops, let us take ops policy. Ops policy is saying allow for S3 bucket. Here the resource policy is saying, this is IAM policy says allow for the ops folder, but in the resource policy it is saying deny. Okay, so here it's saying deny, here it's saying allow. Now which one will be happening? Will the users will be able to access the folder or not? You guys tell me whether the user, the executive can able to access that ops folder or not. Will they be able to access it or not? No, he cannot access. Why? Why? Why he cannot access? Yes, because of deny. As I already mentioned here, So the deny statement will have the precedence over the allow statements. So write this sentence. An explicit deny statements take the precedence over the allow statements. Wherever the deny is there, deny will get the preference. In somewhere in the policy, they are mentioned as denied means denied only. They will not go and check the next step. It will consider as deny wherever you come and mention as allowed. That means, for example, top you mention deny, and again same you come and mention allow below. Again one more allow you below you are writing. It will not accept. Deny is there means deny only take the precedence. Or first you said allow, then again below you said deny. Again you are saying allow. Now also deny only will take the precedence. It will not allow. Okay, okay. You have written this one. An explicit deny statement as takes the precedence over the allow statements. Done. You put a thumbs up symbol. Done. Okay. Next, resource-based policy. You can able to see here the example. So resource-based policies are attached to a not a user or a group or role. It is always attached to a resource. So these are called inline policy, not managed. Inline means what? Like in your HTML, CSS, you have inline, right? That is in the same line code. Now here you see the example, a user called Mary Major. Okay, Mary Major is a user. He has been attached with an identity-based policy, and the policy grants list read objects to the photos bucket. He can able to list and read. He can able to list and read the objects in the photos bucket alone. Okay. Next one, S3 bucket photos. S3 bucket photos. He defined inline on the bucket. Inline on the bucket. That is resource-based policy is mentioning that policy grants username Mary Major. He can list and read objects. That means he can able to see all the files. He can able to read the files, but he cannot delete the files. That's what the permission he has given. Same thing identity-based policy also has given. So as per the policy document, this user Mary Major can able to access S3 bucket. Inside the bucket, they can able to access only the photos bucket, okay, photos folder, and that too inside he can able to list. That is, he can see all the objects. That is all the photos, and he can read. Read means access it, but he cannot delete it. That's what this resource-based policy mentions. Are you getting this? Okay, as both the policies are same. He's just giving it. Both the policies are saying the same thing. Next, as I told you, what it will go and check the IAM permission document, how it will scan. First, it will go and check whether is the permission explicitly deny. Is there any deny statement? Is there like your you're getting your 10th standard results or 12th standard results, right? 10th or graduation results. Whose name you will check first? Whose name you will check first in the results page? Your name or somebody's name? Whose name you will check first? My name. Correct, na? Exactly. Same thing. This policy document will go and check whether there is any deny statement is there. Anywhere they have mentioned deny, it will go and check. If deny is not there, then automatically it will go and check allow statements. Okay, deny statement is not there, then I'll go for allow statement, I'll check. If allow is also not, if allow is there, it'll proceed. If allow is also not there, what will happen? By default it will come back to deny statements. Like I told you the bank example, if you're not filling that bank form for credit card, debit card, checkbook, passbook, everything, by default it will not come to you. By default it will not come to you because the bank will wait for you to come and ask. Okay, same thing only. If you're not giving allow or deny statement, by default it will go to deny statement. Next, groups. IAM groups. So groups means, we already mentioned, group means a collection of users. So a group is mainly to use. Why we want to create HR group, sales group, everything? Because we don't want to write policies multiple times. One policy we write, attach it to the group, automatically this will be assigned to the member accounts. Now here you can able to see a user can belong to multiple groups. As I already mentioned, one user can have multiple policies attached. Same thing, multiple, he can be part of multiple groups. Can you find the person who is already in multiple group in this record? Who is there? Who is there in two groups? Who is there in two groups? Can you just mention anybody is there in two groups? Any name? Yes, Lee John. Lee John is in two groups, right? What are the group names? What are the group names? He is there. He is there in the testing also. He is there in the developer group also. Correct, na? So the thing is, as we mentioned, single user can be in multiple groups. Okay, but a group cannot go under another group. A group cannot go under another group. That is what there is no default group also, and the groups cannot be nested also. Groups cannot be nested also, and user can belong to multiple groups. Write these 3 points. A user can belongs to multiple groups also, and there is no default groups, and groups cannot be nested also. Once you're done, just put a thumbs up symbol. If you have written these 3 points, just put a thumbs up symbol. Okay, Kiran done. Others? Okay, fine. Next, IAM role. IAM role. As I told you, role is nothing but the cricket captain, right? So this role is not uniquely associated with one person. As I told you, it's like a cricket captain. It's like today one by one guy will be a captain. Tomorrow somebody will be there. So it's not a permanent position. It's a temporary position. And it's not associated with only one person. Now this role can be assigned to a person also. It can be assigned to an application also or a service like EC2 instance or S3 bucket, anything you can able to apply. So it's a temporary security credential. We can able to create a temporary security credentials like temporary username and password. So you can able to use by an IAM user in the same account as a role also, or a service such as your EC2 in the same account, or you can use it in a different account and give access also. That is also possible. Okay. So you write these two for the role, for the IAM role. It's a temporary permission. It's a temporary permission. You can able to attach, but you can able to attach multiple permissions and policies to this user, this role as well. Okay, you are done. Once you're done, just put a thumbs up symbol. Done. Okay, Ajit done. Kiran done. Okay. Now here is a scenario you can able to see. We are assigning a policy. We are assigning a policy. We are attaching some policies like IAM policy grant access to the photos bucket. We are writing a policy that the user can able to access the photos bucket in the S3 bucket. Now attach that policy to a role, that is IAM role. That role we are assigning to EC2 instance. That role we are assigning to EC2 instance. Now it's like a cricket captain, like it's a temporary permission we are giving it to EC2. Now EC2 can able to access the S3 bucket because we have attached the policy to the role, and that role has been assigned to the instance, that is your service. So here you can see the steps. Define an IAM policy that grants access permissions to the S3 bucket. Attach the policy to a role. Allow the EC2 instance to assume the role. Allow the EC2 instance to assume the role. Okay. Now you will be able to, the EC2 instance can be able to access the S3 bucket. So that's what an example for IAM role. I hope you got it. Coming to the end of this section, can anyone read it? Who is that? Yes, Soxy, can you read it? Okay, Dinesh, can you read it? Okay, Anthony, you just read it.
Sir, IAM
Hmm,
policies are constructed with JavaScript object notation, JSON, and
hmm,
defined permission.
hmm.
IAM
IAM
policies
policies.
IAM policy can be attached by any IAM entity.
Hmm,
Entities are IAM user, IAM groups, and IAM roles.
hmm,
An IAM user provides a way for a person, application, or service
hmm.
to AWS
To authenticate to AWS.
to authenticate AWS.
Hmm,
An IAM group is a simple way to attach the simple policies to multiple users.
hmm.
An IAM role can have permission policies attached to it and can be used to dele- delegate temporary access to user and applications.
Okay, fine. So securing a new AWS account, how to secure a new AWS account, we'll see tomorrow. Okay, at the same time. Fine. So we'll see you at the same time, so 6 o'clock tomorrow, guys. I'll send you the previous document, the third module document, and I'll upload this recording as well. Okay. Yeah, thank you
Sir,
everyone. And yes, you're saying something.
sir, from Saturday we have CIS, sir.
Okay.
Test.
Yeah. I heard that you have some exams, right?
Yes, sir.
Till tomorrow I will take, and day after tomorrow I think I will update you in the group in case if I'm not taking on Thursday, but Friday I will take.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Tomorrow I will take, Friday I will take, Thursday alone I will update it in the group. In case if I'm not taking only, if I'm taking I will not mention anything. As usual you can join the class at 6 o'clock.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, yes. Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.